Good day, valued viewers, and welcome to a special edition of the Independent Mail. I have to admit, I'm jumping on here at my lunchtime because as a true old person, I have TiVo'd the Fani Willis, Nathan Wade hearing for today. And the reason I did it was because of two reasons. Number one, I want to see what a judge looks like when he's on the witness stand. And number two, I actually wanted to see old Mr. Wade in action because I've only seen still photos of him. So I wanted to see how he operated, if he was like a smooth criminal or whatnot, as to the reason why, Fani has kind of jeopardized her position in this case over. So I really wanted to see, I'm kind of intrigued about what old Mr. Wade's about. And what I do know of this particular 15 minutes or so of the trial, because I could hear it playing in the background while I was working, is that it's a section where the Trump team is pretty much trying to lay out the financial benefit, if you will, of Fani Willis and Mr. Wade by laying out bank statements and seeing who paid for what trips and who reimbursed them and things of that nature. So it really kind of gets into some kind of like nosy details that we really shouldn't know about, but we get to know about them because Miss Willis invited her personal dealings onto the case, and now this three-ring circus is going on. But anyway, let's check it out. I was about to check out the hearing footage when I just got a notification from the Midas Touch Network. Shout out to them. They're also covering the hearing right now, and they had on a legal expert that wanted to give her opinion about the whole overall Fani Willis case in general. So of course I got sidetracked. I want to check that out right quick. Let's look at it.
What really just irritates me about the Fani Willis thing, it just gets under my skin because it's just such a ridiculous double standard that we have here for Fani Willis, for women, for strong women, women of color. It's just, I've seen it a million times. And what really irritates me is the irony here, right?
Where this lady sees a double standard, I kind of see equality. What Fani Willis is experiencing right now is what any man would experience in a high-profile position that abuses power and had a lapse in judgment for romantic purposes. Let's be clear. Nobody did this to Ms. Willis. She invited this on herself once she put her personal life inside of this case. And let's also be clear what happened with this. She didn't have to bring him on this case. She wanted him to know that this was one of the benefits that if you got on the fanny pack. If you roll with me, you get to end up on high profile cases you have no business on, period. And unfortunately, it got out and now the three-ring circus is going on. That's just my 2 cents. Now let's get on to the footage.
He filed an affidavit with the court saying with another court, he told another judge that he made $9,500 a month. That's what he swore to. And
all right, so this entire inquiry is just to establish that prior inconsistent statement.
Yes.
All right. I'll give you a minute or two more to try that, but we're gonna have to move on.
Thank you. So I know you're saying that you only got a third of the $300,000, but you were paid over, the firm was paid over $300,000 in 2022, correct?
So, Ms. Merchant, it's not what I'm saying. They're numbers. They're there. It's the truth. The funds were paid. They were divvied between the three of us, going into an operating account, expenses paid out of it.
Okay.
At the end of that, the 9,000 figure is what you have.
I'm just pausing right quick. I hope this pause. I get it already. Native Pimp. You hear him. He almost got the Mac to his voice. But anyway, all right.
Yes, ma'am.
And let's see,
Come on, lady. Get through the stuff now. Look at the judge. He got his, oh my God. Look at him. He waiting on you, man.
Prior to when you filed for divorce in November 2021, you would use Mr. Bradley's credit card to pay for things with Ms. Willis, correct? And then pay him back in cash.
Who the fuck is that?
Never used Mr. Bradley's credit card in my life.
Never used his credit card?
Never.
For transactions to anything with Ms. Willis, out to dinner, anything like that. Hotels?
I've never used Mr. Bradley's credit card. I've never used anyone else's credit card. Not even my father's, and we have the same name.
And you'd pay back, if you ever did use someone's credit card, you'd pay back in cash though, correct?
Ma'am, I've never used someone else's credit card.
Can you take a look at the bank records that I gave you? That's the largest tab you have.
For the record, which exhibit is this?
The large tab.
It is exhibit, hold on, Judge. It's exhibit 9.
X to the Z 9. It's exhibit 9, y'all. X
It should be the largest section.
Your Honor, before there starts
Yes.
questions from these exhibits haven't been tendered, and I maintain my relevance objection.
Oh,
All right, let's see what the next question is, and maybe then that objection is going to be highly relevant.
y'all hear that? It might be highly relevant. Your objection. Look at her face.
Okay.
She got the skank face.
Is that an accurate copy of your Capital One statements that you provided in discovery to, is that an accurate reflection of your Capital One records?
That I provided in discovery to whom?
To your divorce lawyers, or that you provided in the divorce proceeding?
Is the question, does he recognize it by sight?
I'm asking if it's his statements, bank
I
statements.
think that is the question.
Well, I mean, it's a thick document, but I believe you if you say that this is what my wife's divorce lawyer gave you. I believe it.
Your name's on every page of that document, correct?
On every page?
Pretty much every page, not every page.
No, it's not on every page. No, ma'am.
They're all Capital One bank records.
They are.
Okay? Just take your time, look through it. Tell me if there's anything that you think is not yours.
No, they appear to be.
Okay. And those bank records show that you paid for travel with Miss Willis.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'm going to object the relevance of these documents and the
Yeah.
Well, I think, are you tendering exhibit 9?
I'm going to, Judge, and they're highly relevant to the whole.
Well, you've asked him a question about the contents of them, and they haven't been admitted yet. So why don't we start there?
Thanks. Those show travel that you and Miss Willis took.
Well, so you're asking about the contents of something that hasn't been admitted yet, right?
Well, I'm asking him if that's what it shows because I know that they're going to object on relevance.
Well, first we got to say if it's you've authenticated it, perhaps, and before we get into other details of what's in it, I think
I can
it needs
tender
to be admitted.
I move to admit them.
All right,
object on relevance.
on relevance. All right, and on that overruled,
Ooh.
Ms. Merchant.
Thank you. Those records demonstrate that you paid for travel with yourself and Miss Willis, correct?
They should.
Okay. And let's just talk about that travel.
Okay.
The first trip is Belize in March 2023. Is that a trip that you took with Miss Willis?
Come on.
Are you asking?
Come on.
Did you take a trip with Miss Willis in 2023 to Belize?
I did.
All right.
Did you take a trip to California with Miss Willis in 2023?
I did.
Did you pay for those trips on that credit card?
I used the credit card to book the travel, but understand.
She paid you back cash.
Well, let me say this. Let's take the Belize trip, for example, since you started there. That was a birthday gift to me, so I paid nothing for that trip.
Hey.
Zero.
You know what I'm saying?
So the charges that are on your card,
Birthday.
he gave you cash for?
She did.
Okay. So all of the charges.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I don't believe the witness had finished answering the question.
Oh, did you have more?
I did.
Okay.
I wanted to get into the charges on the card because so traveling with her is a task. You can probably imagine the attention that happens. So for safety reasons, she would limit her transactions. I mean,
Okay, got it.
imagine trying to walk through an airport or sit at a restaurant or do anything.
With Beyonce. You got it.
So there's no attempt to conceal. It's a credit card. Everything is here. So
And that's not what I asked. What I asked was the charges for Belize in March 2023 on that credit card. Those are things you purchased to go with Miss Willis
Yeah, he
to
doing
Belize.
it.
those are things that we booked with my card that she
Yes.
paid. Yes,
Yes. So those show up on your credit card.
they do.
And you're saying that she paid you cash to reimburse you for all of that.
Yo, what is the judge doing?
He did.
And she paid you cash for both of your portions or just hers?
Both.
Okay, so that trip, Belize, just Belize, she paid you for everything on Belize.
The entire trip.
Okay. So the food, tattoo parlor, all that stuff, she paid for.
Tattoo.
I'm gonna,
She up too.
I'm sorry, I didn't
like
hear the question.
tattoo.
There was no tattoo parlor in Belize.
The charges, there's a tattoo parlor on the charges. I'm not getting into what it was for. I'm just asking if everything that's on that card related to Belize,
Fani got
he
a
paid you back.
tat.
She paid for, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got a back tat.
Let's talk about California. In May 2023, you all went to California together
Yes.
and you booked plane tickets.
Yes,
And her name was on those plane tickets.
they were.
And so I know you said that you were worried about security and things like that, but that was in her name. When she traveled, she had to use her name.
Oh, so the plane tickets, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you paid for those plane tickets and you paid for a hotel.
So again, the card, yes.
You used your credit card, and I'm not asking about after what happened. I'm asking, did you use your credit card to book your flight and hotel to California?
I did.
And there's a lot of Ubers on there as well for California. Did you pay for those Ubers as well?
Yes.
Didn't.
We were in Napa.
And you're saying that Miss Willis, are you saying that Miss Willis paid you back for that?
Yes.
Did she pay for the entire trip or did she pay for her half of the trip?
The Napa trip,
Mhm.
she paid for the excursions. So the expenses sort of balanced out. I mean, there was never, let me be clear, there was never a time when I would say, hey, I bought dinner. Dinner cost $25.
$2,500.
You need to give me $25. If you've ever spent any time with Miss Willis, you understand that she's a very independent, proud woman.
Object. We're not.
So she's going to
Overruled, Mr. Wade.
so she's going to insist that she carries her own weight. And it actually was a point of contention between the two of us. She is going to pay her own way.
To make sure that you answer it. A California trip that you paid for. Are you saying that she did not pay you back for cash? Instead, she paid for excursions and you believe that was.
Yo, had to pause this right quick. Just cause what happened a second ago cracked me up. Number one, did y'all see how smoothly Senior Wade dropped off one of the most bestest in his compliments you can give to a queen about highlighting her strong independence during this trial? Oh my God, pimping to the 1000th degree, Mr. Wade. I see why you're where you're at right now. But then number two, Trump attorney did not have no, you see she wanted to holler objection or she heard strong black woman and said, I am job. Okay. I'm sorry, but that just cracked me up. All right, let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
Roughly half.
You know, she gave me some cash, yes.
She
But
gave
what
you
I'm
some.
saying is everything that we did when we got into Napa, she paid for.
The trip that she booked on her credit card in Miami, did you pay her cash back for your half of that?
No.
So you never paid
No.
her back for the ticket she bought for you?
No. I would say I did pay her back because there were times when I would pay for dinner.
Okay.
She would pay for dinner. It would balance out. But in a relationship, ma'am, you don't, particularly men, we don't go asking back for anything. So you're not keeping a ledger of things that you pay for versus the thing that she's paid for, which is why I said that it was a point of contention because she was very emphatic and adamant about this independent, strong woman thing. So she demanded that she pay her own way.
But she's the district attorney of Fulton County, and she has to file financial disclosures disclosing any gifts with anybody that she does business with in Fulton County, correct?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
you do. You have the same kind of clauses.
Let's talk about Tennessee. You booked a cabin in August 2023 and paid for a cabin in Tennessee. That's when you paid for it. I don't know when the trip was. Can you tell us about that?
Pigeon Forge, where y'all was at?
August of 2023.
You booked a trip for $1,481.54.
Are you asking me, did I take that trip with Miss Willis, or are you asking me?
So I was just asking you to acknowledge that that is correct from the records, that you
Oh.
paid for a cabin in Tennessee. Do you recall, and hopefully you can do it from your memory, do you recall paying for a cabin 6 months ago, $1,400.81 in Tennessee?
Hold on for a second. I had to pause again. But see, this look like this might be some joints where Wade, like, hold on now, lady, you asking too many questions about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with this. See, it almost sounds like Wade might have had some more trips with some more folks. Hi, nobody, y'all. That wasn't funny. Let's see what's going on with y'all. Let's see what's going on. Who went to Tennessee, Gatlinburg, or wherever y'all was at?
Where are we now? What page is that?
I'm just asking from your memory. Do you remember paying for a cabin in August?
Your Honor, if he's going to be asked about a particular transaction,
He can answer whether he remembers or not.
Ooh, judge quick on that one. Shouldn't remember.
Mr. Wade, I'm not asking you to go through 1,000 pages of records. I'm asking if you remember paying for a cabin 6 months ago in Tennessee.
No,
You remember booking a cabin?
I booked lots of cabins.
Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? We booking.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
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 Y'all at the cabins or not, man? They want to know. They want to add that to the pot. God damn, dog. I need to play some. When I edit this, some Jeopardy music is definitely going to be right here. Are you
No.
serious? Okay. I'm like,
No.
You ever gone to Tennessee with Miss Willis?
Yes.
Okay. When was that?
Hey, day trip.
That was around 2022, early 2022.
Early 2022? Okay.
It was a
Must be winter day. What the fuck? What you finna tell us?
day trip.
Hey, give us some. Hey, take us there, man.
Okay. So you didn't spend the
We
night?
Damn, lady.
So it was a day trip. We would drive there, have lunch, drive back. The reason we would do that is because the attention, she couldn't get any peace of mind going locally. So
this is it.
we'd get in my car and drive to someplace off the beaten path and have lunch and drive back.
Is that when you went to Fainting Goat with her? I think it's in Jasper, Georgia.
No, that's in Georgia. I don't recall going to Fainting Goat with her.
So the Tennessee day trips were only Tennessee.
All right, my bad, dog. But look, my man had to take a sip of water right now. She just named some damn place. I don't know what the Fainting Goat is. I might need to check it out up in Tennessee. She asked, did you go with Fani? He like, no, and let me take a sip of water. I told you she asking too many questions about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with this, but she doesn't know that. But he does because she's in all of the bank statements. I told folks a long time ago, man, your damn bank statements can tell on you worse than your phone. Period. Don't let nobody get a hold of them. They'll tell on you.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever do these day trips in Georgia?
Do we drive anywhere in Georgia?
Yeah, you were talking about day
Yeah,
trips
we
going
drove-
out,
we-
and I'm talking about outside of the metro area. Day trips that you were just talking about. These trips you were talking about. The ones that I'm only asking about the ones you were just talking about. Are all of those in Tennessee?
No, we drove to Alabama before.
Okay.
Back.
You drove to Alabama?
Mhm.
Did you go anywhere in Georgia? North Georgia?
Where you getting at though, lady, with all these locations and stuff? I can see you trying to add up.
I'm going to object.
Thank you.
If the direct his attention in some way to a time frame or a location, then I think it might be easier for the witness
All right.
to accurately.
Ms. Merchant, I think if you don't have the specific details yourself,
Mhm.
we need to start getting into specifics or more maybe broadly phrased questions. We can't just be exploring around indefinitely.
Hey, I gotta get
Is
back
it-
to work.
Is it fair to say that you've taken so many trips with her you don't even really remember all the places you've gone?
So many trips.
You're having trouble remembering going if you went to North Georgia or not.
Were you asking me about specific places? And I want to be candid in my responses. So I have to jog my memory because these are places that I have frequented, but not with her. So I want to make certain that if there was ever a time that she accompanied me, that I was candid in that response.
Okay. Aruba, October 2022. That business record certificate for these, Judge, so it might be a little faster. But did you take a trip with her to Aruba in 2022?
Yes, ma'am. So that Aruba trip there was a package deal there. My mother had recently retired, and I decided to take my mother on a cruise.
Okay.
And the second leg after the cruise concluded, DA Willis and I went to Aruba. So that was all one trip, if you will.
Okay. So my question was, did you go with DA Willis to Aruba in 2022?
I did.
Thank you. And you paid for that trip using your business credit card, correct?
I did.
And you paid for a cruise as well, correct?
That's the cruise I was referencing with DA Willis, my mother, and myself.
Okay, and because there's two cruises, so let's just talk about the first one.
Okay.
So the first one was that's the one with your mother.
Yes.
And so you introduced DA Willis to your mother that trip. You all took a cruise together, the three of you.
Yes.
After the cruise was done, you and DA Willis flew to Aruba together, and your mom flew home.
Yes.
And you paid for all of this with your credit card, on your business credit card.
I did.
And are you saying that Miss Willis paid you cash back for that?
She did. But let me make this distinction though, because the number that you're looking at reflects the three people on the cruise ship. There were things that my mother and I did, just the two of us, that DA Willis didn't do.
Everything.
And I'm not attributing that. I did not. My math is not good, but I did not include anything with your mother on those. Can I show?
You wouldn't be able to see it because it's not separated out. It just shows a charge on the account when actually it would have been something with my mother and I.
Judge, may I approach with exhibits 10 and 11? They're both certified business records.
10 and 11, I gotta go, man. This is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy though, man. I'm glad I checked this out. But you know what? Oh, Mr. Wade is probably about as smooth as I thought that he had to have been to have this lady jeopardize all her stuff over it though. But you know what? Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, peace and stay informed.